Hey man, welcome to the Super Divorce channel. If you think you're gonna like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up now. And if you're digging it here, go ahead and subscribe. Just make sure you bong the gong for notifications so you know when new videos go live. Now then, please look forward to this video. Enjoy, chefs. Hey man, welcome back to the Super Divorce channel. Nicholas Villars here, aka Super Divorce. I play music. I'm creating a Proudly Comicsgate comic book, and today I'm going to be looking at LOBO'S Back, issue number 4 of 4 in this 4-part mini-series. It's the final video entry in this little escapade that we've been on. Taking a look at the main man, as he likes to call himself, Lobo. This was a mature readers series. Quite blasphemous, if we might say that. If you are sensitive to religious-themed parodies and so on and so forth, you probably wouldn't like this one. But if you have a good sense of humor about it, then it's a lot of fun. So let's take a look at issue number 4, the final entry in this LOBO'S Back series. Just a quick recap. Lobo was fragged and basically cut in half. His body was just boom. Upper body separated from his legs at the end of issue number 1. Got killed by a guy named Lou, who he was actually sent to kill. He's a bit of a mercenary, gun for hire. Went out to planet Dooley 7 to try and find Lou. Ended up getting fragged. He died. He went to heaven. He caused a bunch of problems. He got sent to hell. They didn't want him either. They sent him back to heaven. He ended up being reincarnated. And kind of as a joke, they reincarnated him as a female version of Lobo, which the creators of the series refer to as Bimbo. They sent Bimbo back in time to 1940. Lobo didn't like being a female, so he basically just allowed himself to be killed so he could go back and request to be reincarnated the right way next time. Got a second reincarnation, and they messed up the process. He was sent back as a squirrel. Died again that time. And then third time's a charm. So he was sent back to heaven again, and he's going to try to find his way back to Dooley 7 and get his revenge. That's kind of where we are when this one starts off. And this issue is, I would say it contains the least amount of story out of all of them. It is action-packed. You get a lot of violence and a lot of gore in this one, but it's basically Lobo taking on the various different sorts of religious guardians in heaven. Sort of all the different religions are represented in this comic book, so there's plenty of representation if that's what you're looking for. He basically makes his way through all of these different types of religious figures, religious guardians, if you will, armies that are made up of various religious soldiers. Here he is making his way through the Krishnas. This one, I don't remember exactly who he was fighting here, but this was a good panel. He gets a hold of a gun, he shoves it in this guy's mouth, pulls the trigger, and basically blows his head off. And then you can see a bit of his face has just slid down the gun and over top of Lobo's arm. Like I said, it's a very graphic series. They weren't kidding about the mature readers part. Surprised it wasn't a Vertigo book, to be honest. It wasn't. It was just a DC label, but it said mature readers. But given the nature of it, and also the fact that it looks kind of like Sandman in some spots, especially this issue is very, well, this entire series is reminiscent of Neil Gaiman's writing, in my opinion. Like a bloodier, more over-the-top Neil Gaiman. But here he is smashing some guy's face in. then he is confronted by these fellas. Nick Torquemada and the Howlin' Inquisitors. So these guys, when I got to this part, I was like, oh, this might be the part where he actually faces a bit of pushback. And maybe these guys are going to give him some trouble, but they don't. He ends up just kicking that guy right in the gonads. Crunch. He snaps another guy's neck and then just moves on. And then he is confronted by a whole group of gods. That's where I was saying, Gaiman-esque. Very Gaiman-esque. American godsy here, you know. You got various gods coming after him now, but even that doesn't stop him, as you can see. And as all this is happening, as everything's unfolding, then it's like, meanwhile, upstairs, you would assume these are God's feet, as he is just watching all this play out, and he's having a good old time. You know, he's not mad about it. He's like, you know, I'm kind of impressed with this guy. He's down there really putting on a show. A little change of pace, maybe. So an angel appears in front of God, and he's like, shouldn't you do something? And God says, shut up and fetch me another brewski. And then throws the empty beer can at him. Thunk. God's having a good time watching this. And here we go. This is pretty much the end of the book, as he makes his way through all of the various religious soldiers and armies. He gets to the reincarnation area, and they have this mini tank pointed at him. He's like, what the hell is that going to do to me? He doesn't realize that it's going to zap him back to Dooley 7. That's what this guy, this administrator, who has been tracking all this throughout the other books, he has set this plan up. He's like, we're gonna stop him in his tracks. We're just gonna send him back, and we're gonna make sure that he can't come back here again. So they zap him, poof, and he is this time sent back to basically the moment after he was blown apart. This is a scene from issue number 1 with Lou standing here and Lou's brother, and they've just blown his torso clean off. But now he's back. He sits up, spirit back in the body, throws this here knife right at old Lou's face. Thunk. Or that might be a shunk. Goes in deeply enough to get the job done, and he falls over dead. Lobo goes ahead and blows his brother's head off as well. Plop. And that's that. And only after that does Lobo realize, hold on a second. I'm in 2 pieces here. Well, someone will staple me back together. That's what he says. So he puts his legs over top of his shoulders, like he's giving himself a nice ride, you know, and he walks off into the sunset on both arms, and there you go. And that's that. And now we can take a quick look. Well, you know, let me give a few more comments on this first before we go. Lobo's back. What did I think of it? That was a lot of fun to read. Very fun book, or series of books. Fun little mini series. Not the type of thing you really see today coming out of DC or Marvel. Very edgy. And one thing that I thought was strange is they included a letters section in the first issue, and then they just kind of went away. I think it was the first and second, actually. And then they didn't do letters in issues 3 or 4, which was kind of a bummer because I wanted to see what people were saying about it. I wanted to see the people writing in angrily. Thought that would have been fun, but they took the letter section out. I don't know, maybe the blowback was too much and they didn't even want to print the letters. I don't know. But in the previous sections, in the issues 1 and 2, I believe, the letter sections were there just for that reason, to poke fun at all the people who were butthurt about Lobo. Like, this book is too violent. It's too disrespectful. It's too sacrilegious, all this kind of stuff. Well, I think that was the point. So I would have enjoyed reading more letters from angry fans. The art was top-notch. The story was fun. This is a bang-up job. For however much I paid for these, I don't know, a few bucks a piece in the back issue section over at Nostalgia Inc. A good purchase. Glad I picked them up, glad I read them. I would highly recommend Lobo's Back. If you can track these down, pick them up, look for them at your local comic shop. I'm sure you can find a set of these on eBay. Give it a go. I think you'll enjoy it. I didn't include every panel, by the way, in case you're like, oh, well, I've already seen the majority of it. No, there's a bunch of stuff I didn't put in here because I want to show you enough to get you excited, but also I want to leave enough for you to go through on your own. If you pick the books up for yourself, to be like, oh, I didn't see that before. That's cool. I like that. That's a nice panel right there. That is a nice panel. I like that one. I want you to have that experience too. So I didn't share everything. So please, check it out. Quite enjoyable. All right, and here we go. Let's take a look just for fun. Let's close it out with the ads from this issue. Dr. Giggles. I remember when I used to see the trailer for this movie. I don't think so much on TV. I owned a few VHS tapes, or I would rent VHS tapes from the local video store back in the day, and they had the trailer for this movie, and I remember being like creeped out by it as a kid. Even though I watch horror movies, I loved Freddy and Jason and Chucky and all that kind of stuff, but I never wanted to watch this. It just looked, I don't know, something about a doctor. I really didn't like going to the doctor when I was a kid, but a doctor with like a knife, that was too much. Didn't really intrigue me. 2 games that put you in your place. Saw the same ad in one of the previous issues of Lobo's Back, but you got some AD&D Nintendo games here. Hills Far and Pool of Radiance. I thought this looked pretty neat. I've always thought Deadman was a cool character, and I enjoyed his, he was featured heavily. I'm basically the main character of Brightest Day from DC. Really became a fan of Deadman throughout that period of time. And then I see this, and I was like, this looks pretty cool. It's called Deadman Exorcism, from Mike Barron and Kelly Jones, a 2-issue series in prestige format, suggested for mature readers. If you know anything about this one, please say so. I might look into it myself anyway, but if you have any experience, if you've read Deadman Exorcism, or if you know anything about it, leave a comment below. Give me your appraisal, because I think it looks cool. Same with this Spectre ad they put in here with a glow-in-the-dark cover. You don't see that very much anymore either. Glow-in-the-dark cover from John Ostrander and Tom Mandrake, a new ongoing monthly series. I always thought the Spectre was pretty cool too. Got an ad for Candyman, which I've still never seen. Never saw the Candyman films. A Doomsday ad, hyping that up. Saw this in the last issue as well. This was one of those, send us this much money a month, and then you can get cassette tapes and so on and so forth. Kind of like Columbia House. And Evander Holyfield Real Deal Boxing ad for the Sega Genesis. That was a fun game to play. And then finally on the back, breaking with tradition, they had put ads for Batman Returns on the previous ones, and now we've got an ad for Under Siege. Siege? What do you prefer? Steven Seagal. I made a Steven Seagal video. It's on this channel. An extended supercut fight scene. Check that out. Give it a look. Rooftop fighting. And that's going to be that. So everyone, thanks for checking in. Thanks for stopping by. Until next time, make sure that you're listening to your Super Divorce music on Spotify, on iTunes, on Apple Music, wherever you stream your tunes. You can find Super Divorce. The latest album was called Action Figures. If you're a fan of Tears for Fears and Depeche Mode and New Order and so on, you're going to love Action Figures. And once you fall in love with the songs and you want a physical copy, head on over to superdivorceme.com and you can pick up a CD, you can pick up a cassette tape, or you can pick yourself up a vinyl record. And what I recommend you do is just grab one of each. Celebrate the entire catalog. That's my recommendation. That would be the best thing to do. Till next time, also, make sure you're subbed to the channel. Bong the gong for notifications so you know when new videos go live. Comment below if you have anything. Doesn't even have to be related to the video if you don't want. Comments, questions, concerns, requests, whatever. Drop it below. Want to talk some shit? That's fine too. Follow me on Twitter at @TheSuperDivorce, on Instagram at SuperDivorceBand. And that's going to do it. Everyone take real good care. Keep kicking ass. Love you lots. Lord willing, I'll be back very soon with another video for you to watch. Bye-bye.
Super Divorce. We gonna go viral with this one.